In the tumultuous landscape of American politics and economics, recent developments surrounding former President Donald Trump reveal a complex interplay of public sentiment, economic challenges, and electoral prospects. As Trump navigates the early days of his second term, his approval ratings have shown surprising resilience amid a backdrop of significant policy decisions, including an impending 25% tariff hike on automobiles, mass layoffs of government workers, and rising inflation. Despite the chaos that has characterized Trump's administration since he took office again, including rising prices of essential goods like eggs and controversial meetings, his approval ratings have remained surprisingly stable. Recent polling data from Reuters Ipsos indicates that 45% of Americans approve of Trump's job performance, a slight increase from 44% just weeks prior. This marks a notable contrast to the approval ratings of President Biden during much of his tenure, reflecting a potential shift in voter sentiment. Trump's handling of immigration remains a cornerstone of his support, with a consistent 50% approval rating in that area. Interestingly, public opinion shows a significant majority, 82%, believing that the president should adhere to federal court rulings even when he disagrees. However, a notable 40% of respondents support Trump's continuation of deportation policies even against court orders, illustrating the contentious nature of his immigration strategy. In a broader context, Trump's favorability ratings, according to an Economist/YouGov poll, stand at 48%, with his Vice President J.D. Vance trailing at 43% and House Speaker Mike Johnson at a mere 30%. Meanwhile, high-profile Democrats like Minority Leader Chuck Schumer are experiencing low favorability, with only 24% support among those polled. The economic backdrop against which these approval ratings are set is equally telling. Inflation remains a pressing issue for voters, identified as the top concern, followed closely by jobs and the economy. The latest NBC News poll suggests that while Trump's approval is at 47%, a significant 51% of Americans disapprove of his overall performance. This dissonance indicates a divided electorate, with many expressing skepticism about the country's direction. Further complicating matters is the impact of Trump's controversial tariff policies, which have drawn significant criticism. A recent analysis suggests that these tariffs could increase the cost of vehicles by as much as $4,711, a factor that could weigh heavily on consumer sentiment and economic stability. As the Federal Reserve grapples with inflation rates, currently reported at an annualized 4.0%, the implications of such tariffs could exacerbate financial strain on American households. Notably, discussions surrounding inflation have also brought attention to the Federal Reserve's monetary policy decisions. Recent data reveal that core inflation, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, rose to 4.5% in January, up from 3.6% the previous month. With the Fed maintaining its federal funds rate at 4.25 to 4.5%, the question remains whether this approach will effectively combat inflation or contribute to a deeper economic malaise. As the political landscape evolves, the divided Democratic Party faces significant challenges in responding to Trump's rising favorability, especially as it grapples with record-low popularity among voters. With just 27% of registered voters viewing the Democratic Party positively, the upcoming 2026 midterm elections could become a battleground for contrasting visions of governance and economic policy. As we observe these trends, it is clear that Trump's approval ratings and economic policies will continue to shape the narrative leading into the next election cycle. The intertwining of public sentiment, economic stability, and political strategy suggests a landscape ripe for further developments with significant implications for both parties. As the nation approaches critical electoral decisions, the interplay of these factors will be pivotal in determining the future direction of American politics and economic policy. In a significant environmental milestone, Oregon has officially emerged free from drought and abnormal dryness for the first time since fall 2019. This momentous occasion, celebrated by state officials and residents alike, reflects a dramatic shift in the region's climate conditions, which have been closely monitored over the past few years. The recent improvements in Oregon's water supply and moisture levels have brought a sense of relief and optimism to communities that have been grappling with the impacts of prolonged drought. The change in Oregon's climate status has been attributed to a series of winter storms that delivered substantial snowfall and rainfall across the state. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration (NOAA), the heavy precipitation helped replenish reservoirs and groundwater sources that had been severely depleted. "This is a big moment for Oregon," stated state climatologist Peter Gleich. "After years of drought, our water resources are finally in a healthier position, which is critical for agriculture ecosystems and communities." The implications of this shift extend beyond just improved water availability. Agriculture, which plays a vital role in Oregon's economy, stands to benefit significantly from the replenished water supplies. Farmers and agricultural experts are optimistic that the return to normal moisture levels will enhance crop yields and mitigate the risk of crop failures that have plagued the state in recent years. Local farmer Sarah Thompson remarked, "This is a breath of fresh air for all of us in the farming community. It means we can plan for a better season without the constant worry of drought conditions." However, experts caution that while the current conditions are favorable, they do not guarantee long-term stability. Climate patterns are inherently variable, and the state must remain vigilant against the possibility of future droughts. "We need to use this opportunity to invest in sustainable water management practices," said Gleich. "The goal is to build resilience against future climate variability, ensuring that we can adapt to changing conditions." The state's government is already considering measures to enhance water conservation efforts and improve infrastructure to better manage water resources. This proactive approach is crucial, especially as climate change continues to pose challenges to traditional weather patterns. As Oregon celebrates this welcome relief from drought, the focus will inevitably shift to maintaining and enhancing the state's water resources for the future. With ongoing discussions about climate resilience and sustainable practices, the state stands at a crossroads. With the potential to lead the way in adaptive water management strategies, the coming months will reveal how effectively Oregon can leverage this moment to secure a more sustainable and stable water future. In a groundbreaking discovery that sheds light on the intricate relationships within marine ecosystems, researchers have revealed that certain fish species employ a unique hunting strategy by using sharks as shields to ambush their prey. This fascinating behavior, observed in blue runners, small predatory fish, was documented in the Mediterranean Sea near Lampione Island, providing new insights into predator-prey dynamics. The study, conducted by a collaborative team including scientists from the University of Edinburgh and several Italian research institutions, utilized underwater video footage to capture this unprecedented interaction. The footage documented 34 instances of blue runners strategically shadowing sandbar sharks before launching surprise attacks on smaller fish such as damselfish. Remarkably, this ambush technique resulted in prey only noticing the approaching blue runners approximately 10% of the time, a stark contrast to the nearly complete detection rate over 95% when the fish hunted in groups. Professor Fabio Badalamenti from the University of Edinburgh emphasized the significance of these findings, stating the study highlights how interactions between species can drive alternative hunting tactics in marine ecosystems. Understanding these dynamics enriches our knowledge of marine biodiversity and underscores the importance of conserving high-level predators like sharks. This symbiotic relationship not only enhances the blue runners' hunting success but may also offer them protection from their own predators and conserve energy by swimming in the shark's slipstream. The research, published in the journal Ecology, is particularly timely given the ongoing decline of shark populations due to overfishing. Dr. Carlo Catano from Stazione Zoologica Anton Dorn warned that the diminishing numbers of sharks could disrupt these unique ecological interactions, potentially leading to broader implications for marine biodiversity. This unique interaction emphasizes the ecological importance of the few remaining shark aggregations, which can influence the structure and function of ecosystems, he explained. The findings from Lampione Island, one of only two known aggregation areas for sandbar sharks in the Mediterranean, underscore the critical role these apex predators play in maintaining the health of marine environments. As the research community continues to explore the depths of these complex interactions, the urgency for conservation efforts becomes increasingly apparent. Protecting shark populations is not merely about preserving a single species, it is essential for maintaining the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. As scientists further investigate the nuances of predator-prey relationships, this study opens new avenues for understanding how various species adapt their behaviors to thrive in a competitive environment. The implications of these findings extend beyond the Mediterranean, potentially informing conservation strategies globally. Future research will undoubtedly delve deeper into these interactions, reinforcing the need for coordinated efforts to protect our oceans and the vital species that inhabit them. In an extraordinary revelation from the world of aquatic biology, researchers have discovered that the bigmouth buffalo, a freshwater fish native to North America, possesses an astonishing ability to defy the conventional understanding of aging. While many species face the relentless march of time, leading to physiological decline and shorter lifespans, the bigmouth buffalo has been documented to live over a century, with some individuals verified at an impressive 127 years. This remarkable longevity raises intriguing questions about the biological mechanisms that allow this species to thrive in a world where aging is typically accompanied by deterioration. The bigmouth buffalo, scientifically known as Ichthyobus cyprinellus, is a substantial filter-feeding fish that can grow over 4 feet long and weigh up to 80 pounds. Unlike its more predatory peers, this species has a unique feeding strategy centered around consuming plankton. Its reproductive habits, however, are anything but ordinary. Research conducted in Canada's Qu'Appelle River system reveals that some populations of bigmouth buffalo have not seen a new generation in over 50 years. A study published in February 2023 highlighted that of 52 fish surveyed, only one was hatched after 1997, with the rest spanning just 13-year classes over a century. This phenomenon, termed episodic recruitment, describes the bigmouth buffalo's reliance on specific environmental cues for successful spawning, such as temperature ranges and flooded vegetated waters. If these ideal conditions do not occur, spawning fails, and thus the species has developed a survival strategy of longevity, simply outliving unfavorable years. By living over a century, these fish significantly increase their chances of reproducing when conditions are finally right. However, a troubling situation has emerged at Rice Lake National Wildlife Refuge in Minnesota, where the bigmouth buffalo population is facing a critical recruitment gap. A September 2024 study found that an astonishing 99.7% of the surveyed fish were over 50 years old, with many nearing or exceeding 100 years. This lack of younger fish raises concerns about the long-term viability of the population, as factors such as high predation from invasive species and poor environmental management may be stifling new generations. Interestingly, the aging process of the bigmouth buffalo diverges sharply from that of many other species. A 2021 study indicated that older individuals exhibited no signs of physiological decline. On the contrary, they displayed lower stress levels and enhanced immune function compared to their younger counterparts. This phenomenon suggests that the bigmouth buffalo may belong to a rare category of vertebrates characterized by negligible senescence, where aging does not lead to the expected deterioration. As researchers continue to investigate the underlying biological processes contributing to the bigmouth buffalo's unusual longevity, they are uncovering insights that may not only redefine our understanding of aging in fish but could also have broader implications for how we view aging in other species, including humans. The bigmouth buffalo's unique life strategy, prioritizing survival and longevity over rapid reproduction, highlights an evolutionary approach that appears to be increasingly rare in the animal kingdom. Looking ahead, the future of the bigmouth buffalo remains uncertain, particularly for populations like those at Rice Lake. Without intervention to support the recruitment of younger fish, the remarkable longevity of this species may not be enough to ensure its survival in the face of environmental challenges. As scientists delve deeper into this extraordinary species, their findings may illuminate pathways not just for conservation efforts but also for understanding the complexities of aging across the biological spectrum. In a significant regulatory action, the Resorts World Casino on the Las Vegas Strip has been fined $10.5 million by Nevada gaming regulators for its involvement in illegal gambling practices. This substantial penalty stems from allegations that the casino engaged with individuals linked to illegal bookmaking, particularly involving a bookmaker with connections to Shohei Ohtani, the star player of the Los Angeles Dodgers. The case highlights the ongoing challenges in regulating the gambling industry, particularly as sports betting becomes increasingly prevalent across the United States. The Nevada Gaming Control Board filed the complaint against Resorts World last year, asserting that the casino had failed to distance itself from individuals with known illegal gambling ties. According to reports from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, the allegations specifically named Matthew Bowyer, a Southern California bookmaker who had taken thousands of bets from the former interpreter of Ohtani. Bowyer has since pleaded guilty to operating an illegal gambling business and is awaiting sentencing. The complaint detailed a series of infractions committed by Resorts World, including allowing Bowyer to gamble for 80 days over a span of 15 months without adequately verifying the source of his funds. During this time, Bowyer reportedly lost more than $6.6 million while the casino provided him with discounts, gifts, and private jet flights, raising further questions about the casino's oversight and compliance practices. The fine imposed on Resorts World is the second largest ever issued by the Nevada Gaming Commission, which oversees disciplinary measures in the state's gaming industry. As part of the settlement, Resorts World and its parent company did not admit to or deny the allegations but agreed to implement significant changes in leadership and adopt stricter protocols aimed at preventing money laundering and illegal gambling activities. The fallout from this case has broader implications for the gaming industry, particularly as states grapple with the rapid expansion of legal sports betting. The Nevada Gaming Control Board's actions serve as a stern reminder of the need for robust compliance measures to ensure that casinos operate within the law. The case also underscores the importance of transparency and accountability in the gambling sector as regulators work to maintain the integrity of the gaming environment in Las Vegas and beyond. As the gaming landscape continues to evolve, industry stakeholders will be closely monitoring how Resorts World responds to the regulatory demands and what further measures the Nevada Gaming Commission may implement to address similar issues in the future. The outcome of this case could set a precedent for how casinos manage relationships with high-profile individuals and bookmakers, especially as the line between legal and illegal gambling becomes increasingly blurred. In a significant escalation of U.S. trade policy, President Donald Trump has announced a series of new tariffs that are poised to reshape international trade dynamics. Among the most notable developments is his decision to impose a 25% tariff on all foreign-made vehicles effective April 2, which the president has dubbed Liberation Day. This initiative reflects ongoing tensions between the U.S. and its trading partners, particularly Canada, the European Union, and China. And it carries the potential for considerable economic repercussions. The automotive industry is already feeling the impact of Trump's proposed tariffs, with major U.S. automakers including General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis experiencing significant stock declines in response to the news. Analysts predict that consumer prices for vehicles could surge by as much as $15,000, potentially leading to a downturn in vehicle sales. The new tariffs will undoubtedly raise costs for automakers and consumers alike, warned analysts from Goldman Sachs, highlighting the ripple effects of these policies on both domestic and foreign markets. As the trade war intensifies, Canada has emerged as a key player. Prime Minister Mark Carney, who recently took office, has vowed to respond to U.S. tariff threats with countermeasures that could affect approximately $20 billion in U.S. goods. Carney's administration is preparing for a snap election, aiming to strengthen its position against what he describes as a direct attack on Canadian industries. "Nothing is off the table when it comes to our response," Carney stated, clearly indicating that Canada is willing to defend its economic interests vigorously. Furthermore, Trump's tariffs against China have also escalated, with blanket tariffs of around 20% being implemented on top of existing duties. China's retaliatory measures have included imposing tariffs on U.S. agricultural products, exacerbating the tensions between the two economic giants. The situation is compounded by Trump's recent announcement of a secondary tariff on Venezuela, which will impose a 25% levy on any country that purchases oil or gas from the South American nation. This move is part of a broader strategy to curb Venezuela's economic activities, which the Trump administration views as hostile to U.S. interests. In light of these developments, the markets are reacting with caution. The Dow Jones Industrial Average recently plunged over 700 points, reflecting investor anxiety over the potential consequences of Trump's aggressive tariff policies. Wall Street analysts are closely monitoring the situation, with many expressing concern that the ongoing trade war could lead to broader economic instability. Tariffs have become the primary catalyst for market fluctuations, remarked a leading financial analyst, underscoring the unpredictable nature of the current economic landscape. Amidst the turmoil, President Trump has hinted at potential flexibility in his tariff approach, stating that he may offer breaks to certain countries. However, this has done little to assuage concerns among investors, who remain wary of the long-term implications of these trade strategies. As the situation unfolds, businesses and consumers alike will be watching closely, as the ramifications of these tariffs could be felt across various sectors. Looking ahead, the coming weeks will be critical in determining the trajectory of U.S. trade policy and its impact on global markets. With April 2 rapidly approaching, stakeholders are left to ponder how these tariffs will shape the economic landscape and whether further retaliatory measures will ensue. As tensions mount, the world will be watching to see if this trade dispute can be resolved amicably or if it will escalate into a full-blown trade war with far-reaching consequences for the global economy. In a rapidly changing global landscape, the recruitment of American scientists by foreign nations is gaining momentum, driven largely by recent cuts to scientific funding in the United States. Under the Trump administration, significant reductions in funding for federal scientific research have prompted a wave of American researchers to seek opportunities abroad, particularly in Europe. This trend not only threatens the U.S.'s long-standing reputation as a leader in scientific innovation, but also reflects broader concerns about the future of research and development in America. A survey published by the journal Nature reveals that over 1,200 scientists are contemplating leaving the U.S. for countries like France and Canada, largely due to the current administration's policies. The survey, which garnered responses from approximately 1,650 participants, indicates a growing disquiet in the scientific community regarding the prospects for research funding and the overall working environment in the United States. Jennifer Jones, director of the Center for Science and Democracy at the Union of Concerned Scientists, notes that many researchers feel stifled by an atmosphere of intimidation and fear, particularly those involved in studies related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as climate change and vaccine safety. In light of these developments, several European countries are actively working to attract American researchers. Notably, prestigious institutions in France such as Centre Lespelec and Aix-Marseille University have announced initiatives aimed at supporting American scientists. Centre Lespelec has allocated €3 million, approximately $3.2 million, for research projects that have been hindered by U.S. funding cuts. Meanwhile, Aix-Marseille University's Safe Place for Science program aims to provide a conducive environment for about 15 American scientists with a total fund of €15 million, roughly $16.2 million over 3 years. Eric Burton, the university's president, expressed a commitment to helping scientists continue their work despite the challenges posed by the current U.S. political climate. The Netherlands is also stepping up efforts to recruit top scientists from the U.S. Minister of Education, Culture and Science Eppo Bruins has urged the establishment of a fund to attract international researchers, emphasizing the importance of scientific talent for the country's economy and its contributions to Europe. Top scientists are worth their weight in gold for our country and for Europe, Bruins stated. The exodus of American scientists is exacerbated by recent cuts to funding from the National Institutes of Health (NIH), which has begun to terminate grants for critical research on COVID-19 climate change and health disparities. An internal NIH document revealed plans to cancel nearly 400 grants, claiming that funding for COVID-19 research was no longer necessary as the pandemic is considered over. Critics, including prominent virologists, argue that such measures are short-sighted and will hinder future pandemic preparedness. The NIH's actions have sparked fears among researchers that projects vital to public health and scientific advancement may be unjustly terminated. As American scientists weigh their options, Siddip Parikh, CEO of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, highlights the unprecedented nature of this situation. Historically, the U.S. has been a hub for scientific research, attracting talent worldwide. Parikh urges scientists to remain in the U.S. and emphasizes the importance of the nation's innovation ecosystem, which has historically driven economic growth and delivered crucial medical advancements. The current wave of recruitment by foreign countries signals a profound shift in the global scientific landscape, one that could have lasting implications for the United States. As researchers continue to grapple with uncertainty regarding funding and support, the lure of a more stable and supportive environment abroad becomes increasingly appealing. With the scientific community at a crossroads, it remains to be seen how these dynamics will evolve and what impact they will have on the future of research and innovation in the U.S. and beyond. The Longview Arboretum and Nature Center, a cherished community hub in East Texas, recently marked a significant milestone with its 5th anniversary. This event was celebrated with a vibrant ribbon-cutting ceremony organized by the Longview Chamber of Commerce, underscoring the Arboretum's growth and its role in promoting education, conservation, and a deeper connection with nature. In a statement released by the Arboretum, officials noted this event marks the continued growth and success of the Arboretum, a beloved community destination that promotes education, conservation, and connection with nature. Since its inception, the Longview Arboretum has transformed into a lively venue that invites residents and visitors to engage with the beauty of nature through its gardens, walking trails, and a variety of educational programs and community events. The recent ceremony not only celebrated its achievements but also recognized the dedication of numerous individuals and organizations that have contributed to its development over the years. As part of its anniversary celebrations, the Arboretum is set to launch its popular Music in the Gardens series on April 3, featuring a performance by the local band Deg Nabbit. This series will continue with weekly performances throughout April, providing a perfect opportunity for community members to enjoy music in a picturesque setting. Other upcoming events include a family-friendly Easter egg hunt scheduled for April 19 and a vibrant Cinco de Mayo celebration on May 4. The Longview Arboretum is located at 706 West Cotton Street, and those interested in learning more about its offerings can visit their website or follow their social media channels for updates. The Arboretum's 5th anniversary not only serves as a celebration of its past but also as a beacon for future endeavors aimed at fostering community engagement and environmental awareness. As it continues to evolve, the Longview Arboretum is poised to remain a vital part of the East Texas landscape, nurturing a love for nature and promoting lifelong learning among its visitors. With plans for more events and educational programs on the horizon, the Arboretum is set to deepen its impact in the community, inspiring future generations to appreciate and protect the natural world. In a revealing new poll conducted by the University of New Hampshire Survey Center, nearly 60% of Rhode Island residents expressed disapproval of President Donald Trump's performance, particularly regarding his handling of the economy, tariffs, and foreign affairs, including the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. This sentiment reflects a significant disconnect between the president's policies and the views of a substantial portion of the state's population, indicating potential challenges for Trump as he navigates his political landscape. The survey, conducted from March 20 to 24 and involving 656 Rhode Island residents, found that 59% disapprove of Trump's overall performance, leaving him with a net approval rating of -19%. This disapproval is underscored by specific concerns, 61% of respondents disapprove of Trump's management of the Ukraine crisis, while 60% are dissatisfied with his overall foreign policy. Additionally, 61% of residents are critical of his economic strategies and 58% disapprove of his implementation of tariffs. The poll results reveal a significant partisan divide in perceptions of Trump's performance. A staggering 94% of Democrats reported disapproval compared to 88% of Republicans who approve of his leadership. Interestingly, a notable 66% of independents also expressed approval. Among those who criticized Trump's performance, 21% cited his perceived undermining of democracy as the primary reason for their discontent, while others pointed to illegal actions and budget cuts. Despite widespread disapproval of many of Trump's policies, there is one area where he finds unexpected support among Rhode Islanders: his stance on transgender female athletes. The poll revealed that 66% of residents agree with Trump's executive order banning transgender athletes from competing on women's sports teams. This support, however, is complicated by a divide on whether such policies should be determined at the federal or state level, with a plurality favoring state-level decision-making. The poll also highlights concerns about the potential economic fallout from Trump's tariff policies, particularly as he prepares to impose a 25% tariff on imported passenger vehicles and light trucks. This move has raised alarm bells among residents, with 63% believing that a recession is likely within the next year. This apprehension is particularly pronounced among Democrats, with 86% predicting economic downturns, while only 24% of Republicans share this concern. As Trump continues to grapple with these disapproval ratings and economic anxieties, his administration faces mounting pressure to reassess its strategies and connect more effectively with constituents. The stark contrast between his approval ratings in Rhode Island and those in other regions underscores the complexities of his presidency and the challenges he may encounter as he seeks to solidify support ahead of future elections. Looking ahead, the implications of these poll results extend beyond state lines, potentially foreshadowing larger trends in voter sentiment as the nation moves closer to the next election cycle. Whether Trump can pivot his policies to resonate more effectively with voters remains to be seen, but the current dissatisfaction among Rhode Islanders could serve as a bellwether for broader national trends in political approval. For more than 2 decades, Tina Whitman has dedicated her career to the study and preservation of forage fish, a crucial component of marine ecosystems. Recently promoted to science director at Friends of the San Juans, Whitman's work has focused on the spawning behaviors of forage fish species, particularly surf smelt and Pacific sandlance, across the diverse shorelines of the San Juan Islands. The project that started it all, and continues today, is our forage fish spawning survey work, which has taken me to more than 26 different islands across the San Juans. Whitman explained. Forage fish spawn near the high tide line on beaches, playing a vital role in the marine food web that supports seabirds, salmon, and whales. Whitman's journey into the intricacies of marine science has led her to hundreds of beaches throughout the region, where she has conducted extensive surveys and collaborated with local communities and students. It introduced me in the best possible way to the incredible diversity of our marine shorelines and the critical role they play in local and regional ecosystems, she said. Her commitment to gathering data has not only enhanced understanding of these ecosystems but has also significantly impacted regulatory protections along the coast. Thanks to Whitman and her team's efforts, Friends of the San Juans has more than doubled the number of known Pacific sandlance spawning beaches and identified additional surf smelt sites. Because of this work, 12 miles of shoreline have improved regulatory protection and thousands of feet of spawning habitat have been restored, she noted. Whitman's focus on shoreline research has filled critical knowledge gaps, enabling informed decision-making for habitat protection and restoration. The organization has also tackled shoreline stressors such as docks and bulkheads, leveraging new scientific insights to guide restoration efforts. Since 2010, Friends of the San Juans has implemented over 20 priority restoration projects aimed at enhancing beach and coastal habitats. This year will surpass 1 mile of beach habitat restored in support of marine food web seabirds, salmon, and ultimately southern resident killer whales, Whitman shared proudly. Her tenure has also allowed her to mentor the next generation of conservation leaders, with students from high school to graduate levels bringing fresh enthusiasm to the work. These young scientists and changemakers are an essential part of our shared future. And they are up to the task, she remarked. Whitman's recognition has not gone unnoticed. She received the 2022 Salish Sea Science Prize, highlighting her significant contributions to science and environmental protection. Eva Schult, executive director of Friends of the San Juans, praised Whitman's unwavering dedication. It is rare to find someone who has committed much of their life's work to one organizational mission. Despite her achievements, Whitman remains focused on the pressing need for meaningful environmental protection in response to climate change. We are decades late in our response to climate change, but the opportunity for real change, especially at the local and regional levels, to improve habitat protection and recover salmon and the southern resident killer whales is what keeps me focused, she stated. Furthermore, she emphasizes the importance of work-life balance, expressing her desire to spend more time in nature to recharge. When discussing gender dynamics in science, Whitman notes that while fields like math and engineering remain male-dominated, conservation and ecology have seen a surge of female representation. She has served on various committees and technical teams, witnessing the positive evolution of gender diversity in her field. There are just as many women scientists in the room, and sometimes more, a real positive change from when I was in graduate school in the late 1990s, she reflected. Whitman also acknowledges the unique challenges faced by women in conducting fieldwork in remote areas and the often nuanced perceptions of women's contributions in the scientific community. It's part of why I enjoy my role at Friends. The organization understands the importance of science and the joys of inquiry into the interconnectedness of all things, she stated. To aspiring female scientists, Whitman encourages exploration and persistence, urging them to seize volunteering and internship opportunities. Just get out there and try new things every chance you get. Find your passion and pay attention to the things you don't enjoy so much. There are so many diverse jobs related to the ocean and various scientific fields, she advised. As Whitman continues her critical work in marine conservation, the implications of her research extend beyond the shores of the San Juan Islands, contributing to broader efforts to understand and protect vital marine ecosystems in the face of climate change. With her leadership and dedication, the future of these habitats looks brighter, promising a sustainable legacy for generations to come.